The Supreme Court takes on social media.
Whatever site can't decide that what this political candidate is saying is disinformation. We don't want that on our site.
A decision to be reached on the regulation of social media platforms. Training underway as the Heat come back on the court for the new season. And fighting with style.
So we have to make sure we educate. Education is key. We educate everyone.
How a community comes together to show support for breast cancer. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Marley Bondar.
I'm Valentina Gaspari. Today it's Monday, October 9th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
War in Israel this morning after a surprise weekend attack. The Biden administration moved quickly to deliver weapons to Israel after the attack from Hamas caused hundreds of casualties.
After 48 hours of fighting, Israel's military says it has retaken control of all communities around Gaza. Israel's officials say they are attacking Gaza with strikes aimed at Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad targets.
It's taking us more time as we expected to get things back into a sort of defensive security posture of people coming in and also defending the communities.
The Palestinian Health Ministry says women and children are being killed and held hostage. New videos from Hamas attack during a music festival show fighters shooting as hostages at close range and a woman being led away.
Supreme decisions expected out of the nation's high court. In the area of social media, reporter Alexandra Howard from Caplin's DC Bureau is in Washington this morning.
Behind me, the Supreme Court justices will soon preside over Florida and Texas laws seeking to take away restrictions on how social media companies can censor content on their platforms. And those companies are striking back. This all started after NetChoice LLC, which is an organization representing big-name social media groups like Meta, sued Florida's Stop Social Media Censorship Act and Texas's House Bill 20. The tech group reasons they have First Amendment rights for editorial judgment on what users post online. I spoke with Howard Wasserman, a professor at Florida International University's Law School, on how this case can possibly impact what social media users see.
There's no way to keep off advertising pornography and, not the joke is Nazis, porn, and ads. And also would create some problems for the websites themselves because there would potentially be different rules applicable in different states. So they can the sites could kick people off in some states, but not in others.
Wasserman also says that the potential risk of widespread disinformation could blur the lines with letting politicians freely post their thoughts on social media.
Florida law, in fact, is specifically is about protecting candidates for political office from being removed from the site. And so the idea is that Twitter or Facebook or whatever site can't decide that what this political candidate is saying is disinformation. We don't want that on our site.
The Supreme Court has not released a date on when they will hear these cases, but it's among a list of other cases to watch, such as racial gerrymandering and gun possession. Reporting from the Supreme Court for Caplin News, I'm Alexandra Howard.
From the Supreme Court to the basketball court, the Miami Heat's plan to return to the NBA Finals begins at this week's training camp. Caplin's Anthony Cruz is in the control center this morning.
After another summer of missing out on potential star acquisitions, the name of the game for Miami continues to be internal improvement, from newer guys on the team and non-established ones. Following a week of training camp in Boca Raton, they are set to tip off tomorrow night against the Charlotte Hornets for their first preseason game. However, before that, they will hold their annual red, white, and pink game tonight in the Kaseya Center.
It was a tumultuous summer in South Beach. Players and management, however, are going to the season with a priority on continuity and moving forward with business as usual. Jimmy Butler assured fans that the team would, quote, somehow, some way, end up in the finals again. And Tyler Hero made it clear that he has a chip on his shoulder going into the season. Questions regarding his playoff injury and constant inclusion in offseason trade rumors were inevitable, but he still managed to highlight his confidence and overall optimism for the year. This infectious energy throughout the locker room starts from the top. Head coach Eric Spoelstra said that how things unfold in the Eastern Conference remain to be seen, but he feels insurance in the fact that his squad is, quote, one of those teams who will be in the race. I was outside of the Casella Center on Monday to get a closer look at the action. The main question on Heat fans' minds today is who will be the starters for next season? The loss of both Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, as well as their hole in the power forward position, will now have to be filled up by unproven talent on the roster. Hopefully training camp this following week will provide a good indicator as to who those pieces are. If you had any doubts about the young guys coming to play, they are ready to silence those beliefs. Coach Bo claimed this week during training camp that this iteration of the team is deeper than last year's, and the vets have only had good things to say about the young guys as they continue mentoring them for the season. Jimmy said that Nikola Jovic is conducting himself like a 6 to 7 year veteran on and off the court, and that Jaime Jaquez Jr. fits in with the team's winning culture.
From all accounts, it seems as if this year's training camp was a success. In classic Pat Riley fashion, the rotation still isn't set in stone and will probably be subject to change all year long. However, some important reports to know before tonight are that Kyle Lowry apparently will be starting tomorrow night, and that Caleb Martin is currently a game-time decision. For the Control Center, I'm Anthony Cruz for Caplin News.
Bear on board at Marina in Naples. The whole thing caught on camera Thursday. As Gage Golding from WBBH reports, it may have been tempted onto the boat by the smell of food.
We get the saltwater crocs, the alligators, the sharks, stuff like that. But I can't say I've seen anything like this before.
That means a lot coming from Todd Dillman. He sees more than most boaters because when they break down, they call him for help. That's what he was doing Wednesday evening, pushing a barge back into Naples Bay when something caught his eye.
And we were kind of blown away that there was a bear, in Royal Harbor.
A big old black bear just hanging out in this ritzy community just a walk away from downtown Naples.
It was pretty incredible.
If you thought that was incredible, oh, just wait.
I came back around and I looked over and he's on the sailboat.
A bear on a boat right in Naples Bay.
No one's going to believe me if I tell them.
That's why he pulled out his phone and started recording video after video after video.
I sat here for like an hour and he was just going from front to back on the boat.
Now, he wasn't the only one with his jaw on the deck either.
The word started spreading around the club that there was a bear on the docks, and I said, no, there can't be a bear on the docks. Walked out to the docks. Sure enough, there was a bear on a boat. I've seen alligators in the marina. I've seen dolphins, manatees. Never seen a bear.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is tracking the bear's every move. Their experts say this big guy is likely just looking for food. Fall tends to be a more active time for bears, and the last place they want to be is in crowded areas. However, that savory smell of something good will pull them right on board.
I don't know if that boat, they had used it for fishing and it smelled like fish, or if they just had some snacks stashed.
The best way to keep Smokey the Bear off your boat? Do exactly as your mother taught you. Clean up and toss out your trash.
It's maybe something for everybody to think about.
Reporting local tonight on Naples Bay, Gage Golding, NBC2.
A Florida teenager was arrested after authorities found written plans in his car for a shooting spree. Police say the 19-year-old Harry Horton was pulled over due to his headlight being out. Multiple handwritten notes were found detailing that he would target his former high school. Horton's bond was set at $1 million, and his next court appearance is on November 6th.
After last week's loss in Buffalo's Dolphins were looking to take on some revenge on the New York State.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
And also encourage people to talk more about it so we can desensitize, the myth.
Walking tall in the fight against breast cancer. Newsbreak will be back in just 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
To get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Feeling pink this October and stepping out for a good cause. With the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, cities across the United States are showing their support for the fight against breast cancer.
I had the opportunity to attend a special event at Hollandale Beach over the weekend in which participants got to show their support with fashion.
It's October, which means Breast Cancer Awareness Month is here. People of all ages came to show their support at the annual Breast Cancer Walk-in event at Hollandale Saturday.
It was started by just keeping our women of the community informed, but it grew so where individuals, as you can see, one of the participants, Fire and Desire, they also joined in as well with their motorcycle group, of course, of women, but just to, inform and keeping everyone abreast.
The event, hosted by the Hepburn Center and Fire and Desire, not only raises awareness but also honors breast cancer survivors, those who are fighting, and those who passed away. As participants came together to walk the fight, they did so with a little hint of fashion, with stilettos.
It was their brainchild to say, okay, let's rev it up. Let's add some kind of fun to this, which is let's add stilettos.
Medals and bottles of water were given to everyone at the finish line. Fight, cure, and win. That is the mindset flowing here at Hepburn Center, but the fun is not over, with grand prizes and entertainment coming right up. Afterwards, participants had the opportunity to win some prizes and bundles of gifts. All proceeds will go towards cancer survivors or people currently facing breast cancer, in addition to the Gilda's Club. Stories of cancer survivors were heard as well, saying that everyone should be talking about this type of cancer more often.
And also encourage people to talk more about it so we can desensitize, the myth that it's a terrible disease. Yes, it's a devastating disease, but many people have it, and we want to make sure that we can lessen the number by putting the information out there.
But for some people, this event meant more than just educating and advocating the awareness. It meant cherishing one another.
Being here today means more than just supporting, more than just advocating. It means being here with other women who are going either through the same thing or have a family member going through it. So we have to make sure we educate. Education is key. We educate everyone.
Breast cancer awareness runs from October 1st to October 31st.
After the Bills took a loss in London, everything was laid out for the Finns. Win at home and take over sole possession of first place. Miami hosted the New York Giants at Hard Rock Stadium. Despite turning the ball over 3 times, the Dolphins turned the football game into a track meet. With explosive plays from Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane, the final score was Giants 16, Dolphins 31. The winless Carolina Panthers visit South Florida Sunday and play at 1 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panthertech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Marley Bondar.
I'm Valentina Gaspar. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.